So here we are, another game of Radiant versus the Dire in the video game Dota 2 by Valve. My name's Mankirk. This is the very first stream that I've tried to do, so this might be a little bit rusty, but we're going to give it the best shot that we can. This one was sent in by Reddit4thom, and I'm looking forward to this match here. On the Radiant side, we've got RY on the Enigma, Climber on the Silencer. We have Tusk and Medusa, played by Pizza Boy and Big Guy respectively. And we have Dave on the Magnus. And for the Dire, have ourselves the Grinch on Ancient Apparition, Farmademic on the big old Spectre, Zeus, played by who I'll be calling BKB this game, and Woody on the Centaur, and last but not least, we have Furion, played by Kali. So for this early stage of the game, people just fanning out to the wood to their rune spots, waiting for turnout. Looks like we have Silencer and Enigma coming in on the off lane. It's heading up against AA Spectre. Not a lot of kill potential for this early stage of the game, and these between Silencer and Enigma, they do have a lot of harass, so this lane could be difficult for that Spectre. Over on mid, we're going to be having Medusa facing off against Zeus. A bit of a tit-for-tat matchup, physical damage versus magical damage, but if the Zeus can keep up his regeneration in this early stage of the game, he can definitely turn it around on that Medusa. The question is, how late can this go? So we have 3 down here on the bottom rune. Woody squaring up with Dave. Pizza Boy waiting him back up. And he doesn't quite snatch the rune on bottom lane. Dave taking a little bit of harass here from that Nature's Prophet and his Sproutlings. Up on the top lane, it looks like that the Spectre did manage to pick up the rune for them. Over on mid, we've got standard builds coming out from both players here. Zeus and Spectre coming out. Zeus and Medusa, pardon. But down on the bottom lane, they're pushing it very close to the tower. Nature's Prophet doing his thing. And Dave looking for the skewer, but doesn't quite catch him. Medusa climb up on the high ground here and already laying a good amount of harass over on this Zeus. So far, after the first round of CS, it looks like Zeus is currently leading. Medusa focusing instead on harass and trying to drive this Zeus out of the lane early. Climber getting picked on, taking a bit of harass again. This AA trying to do some work to make some space for his support, for his carry. Down on the bottom lane. Oh, good charge underneath the tower. Not quite close enough. Managed to get a couple of pokes in, and they do have that ice rink. Furion in a spot of trouble here, and it's first blood going towards Pizza Boy.
That was first blood. I barely touched you.
Woody just having to hang on for a little while in this lane. An interesting choice of having the offlaners down here. Looks like the main carry force coming out from the Radiant side will be coming from the Medusa. The Silencer, if he is going for a core build. So far, 2 Sages masks. He is probably one of the most reliable source for their damage laying out on this team. And if he can steal a lot of earlier on, then it can definitely help out the Radiant at a point in a game where they are at a disadvantage versus the Spectre. This is a game that they will have to close down as quickly as possible. But the Medusa catching up in the CS, now overtaking the Zeus, 12-11. And Zeus just having to hang back, play quite reserved at this point of the game, but still getting poked heavily by that level 2 Mystic Snake. But he's got his regen out for himself, he's got his bottle now, so hopefully that will bring it about. But Woody dropping on the bottom lane. These two big boys, Pizza and Dave, getting themselves a good amount of kills and hopefully being able to translate that later on into the game. Spectre continuing to farm. He's got 700 gold in his pocket. He's making headway. Could be a little better. He's currently down on the CS against this Enigma by over half. These Eidolons doing some work to stop the Spectre, getting the farm he's needed, getting all of these denies, and the Dire Creeps doing the rest of the work. Now on the bottom lane, where most of the action is going on at the moment, it seems things have quietened down for the moment. However, the Tusk now level 3, has his snowball and his level 2 ice shards. And the Magnus looking for the shockwave for that slow and catch along with his skewer. Hoping he can pick it out. Pick out one of the players from the Dire off lane. Now Medusa on the middle lane. Both Wraith Bands completed. Zeus only completing a single null talisman, but going for a second. Not far away at all. Both players protecting themselves with an observer ward on either side. Yeah, just checking out the jungle there. Trying to close in on this Enigma, but they can't quite get the cold feet off on him. Instead, going in to lay some harass onto the Spectre instead. Got his first level in dispersion. Down the bottom lane, Dave stacking this camp, making the pulls. Going to be making life very difficult to maintain the equilibrium for these two heroes, the Centaur and the Prophet, who can, like both lanes, can lay on heavy harass, and we've already seen the casualties starting to pile up, but all going in favour so far of the Radiant side. Snowball will go into the large camp, start to clear that out. Medusa misses the Mystic Snake, now level 3, really going for that heavy harass, but the point in her mana shield will definitely give her a lot of survivability as well against this Zeus. He's in need of a bottle. Medusa's moving forward and getting the pokes on the tower, but up on the top lane, Climber is just able to get away by the skin of his teeth with that last minute TP. The lane's pushed up, and this will give a lot of space for the AA to be able to make some pulls through the jungle perhaps. Down here, Dave getting poked at by this Nature's Prophet. Not doing a lot of damage against these two strength heroes so far. At this stage of the game. Just see what items we're building towards. Another got power treads and another Wraith Band coming out from the Medusa. She's looking hell-bent on that poke. Now with level 3 Mystic Snake, able to clear off these range creeps with a single hit, which is going to cause denies and CS to go heavily in her favour. Poking on the Zeus. Both of them now level 6. So ults are available, and Zeus able to get a much needed... Oh! Just managed to snag the Invis rune away from the Medusa, who tried to deny it, stop him getting his bottle charges. This will give him the much needed sustainability he has in the lane. Up top we've got the Ring of Bazzi coming out on the Enigma in RY. The two Sage's masks from the Silencer, looks like he's rushing into a quick Orchid. No shoes yet either. An interesting choice, but we'll definitely be needing that lockdown against some of the heroes who will be laying out a lot of damage from the Dire team. Mostly I'm thinking of that Zeus, who, with an Orchid on top of him and the fact that he's not the toughest hero in the game anyway, will definitely suffer and may give away a lot of int towards that Silencer. But Zeus still right behind in the CS, breaking even at the moment, but Tusk at the top of the CS chart at the moment. And that does translate into the 3 heavy cores for the Radiant side, leading the net worth at this point. Prophet now with the Blightstone, just laying out some extra poke on his way towards his power treads. Tusk with the double armlet, the double bracer. Will be a very big pizza boy to take down in this lane. Spectre queuing up the Manta style first. Not one of the builds I've heard of in this with current Spectre builds. The way I've normally seen is either Blade Mail or Radiance first, but confident that the man knows what he's doing. He's going to take this very heavily into the late game. We'll give him a lot of evade against and the dispel against spells like Malefice, like the Arcane Curse and the Snowball as well. We'll give him that dodge ability to be able to keep him alive in these fights. Tusk, now level 6, has his Walrus Punch. Lay out a good amount of damage if they can get on top of this Prophet, who's definitely the target that they want to be killing in this lane. He's behind on levels, behind on farm. And Empower is now out from for the Tusk as well, which combined with the Walrus Punch is going to do a lot of damage if he can lay that onto the Nature's Prophet. But Midas coming out from the Enigma, going to accelerate his farm. We could well have ourselves a very quick Blink Dagger. A 9-minute Midas is nothing to sniff at.
The Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Zeus landing the ulti and bringing down the Magnus and Pizza Boy as well, both falling in the bottom lane. But they do bring down the Zeus in return, only a shared bounty. However, that will definitely provide some space and provide some much needed levels for this Nature's Prophet, who has now hit his 6 and has Wrath of Nature as well. So a global ability coming out for both sides.
Dire's middle tower doesn't last long.
The Medusa walks away with a very easy undefended middle tower. Not an objective that the Dire want to lose at this stage of the game so early. If they want to maintain the space to allow this Spectre to farm and come online in the in 20 minutes or so, then they're going to need a little more space than that. Magnus down bottom, lined up with his Blink, not far off the Arcane Boots as well. Just Prophet and the top lane, but all move out for the runes, and Climber may cost his life to take this rune away, and he's going to fall to the Ancient Apparition. But Medusa's arrived, she's coming in, only half HP at the moment, but she does have those tangos available. The Black Hole coming out, 3-man Black Hole, brings down the 2, can they get the Spectre as well? Oh, with the Malefice, Zeus coming in to save the day, protecting the Spectre with just a sliver of HP. Just avoiding the death from the level 4 Mystic Snake. This Medusa's build is does have a lot of early game potential to lay out some damage on the squishier heroes of the Dire roster. The Prophet, the Ancient Apparition, and the Zeus can all suffer in the fights from the bounces of this Mystic Snake. But first Black Hole of the game does cost the Dire 2 heroes. As trading continues, wards from the Dire side are picking out this clearing of the large camp. Prophet returns to the bottom lane, and Medusa continues to farm middle. Now level 10. Her and Enigma, top of the pack at the minute. Surprised that this Enigma has been able to maintain this this amount of farm with all 3 cores from the Radiant team able to maintain their. Oh, but the Magnus falls. Only a position 5, I believe, in this game, so nothing too harsh loss there. But if Zeus, who has already used his ultimate, so not able to find this Ancient Apparition, sends his ult bottom, looking for a pickoff. What can he get? Anything? Just misses Climber at the last moment there. But yeah, the 3 main cores of the Radiant side leading by quite a way as Pizza Boy falls on the bottom lane to a quick Zeus lightning bolt. Our Climber, who may be relied upon to do some serious damage at the stages of the game, looking for a bit of farm. Only level 5, but the Zeus is tracking him down. This could be a kill for the Zeus right here. Oh, and it's another one. This Zeus now starting to really rack up his kills. They're coming up to 3 for 1. But this Medusa now traversing through a jungle. She's got her Yasha, so getting that extra movement speed to lay on those abilities against the Dire team. Enigma now building into a mechanism, so going for defense items rather than the instant Blink Dagger. That responsibility seems to be being taken over by Dave on the Magnus. And the Centaur Stampede coming out, looking for kills. Tusk is rolling in, has the Ice Ball, but very low HP, going down to the Ancient Apparition and his cold and his Chilling Touch. Gets the stun on Dave. Climbers at the back, getting gone on by the Spectre. Doesn't have the survivability to last this, and Woody will get the last hit. Dave now wrapped up in the trees. Underneath his tower, Stamp rushes to get out, but there is a Spectre and a Centaur there. There is nowhere for Dave to go, and with the AA ulti on top of that, he's not going to last much longer. Ducking into the trees. Creating a ton of space for his team on the top lane and giving Enigma a lot of farm. But they lose 2 on the bottom, and this tier 1 tower could be soon to follow. As Medusa continuing to accumulate her farm, closing in on the ultimate orb. As RY laying down pressure on his top tower. The mechanism is finished, just needs his courier to bring it out as the Spectre rolls in on him, but the Tusk is here with the retaliation. Lands the punch, getting closed in by the trees. Both sides will disengage, though Dave may be looking to make a play here. Yet to have his Blink Dagger, yet to have his Arcane Boots, but they are closing in on the Ancient Apparition, and it looks like he will fall for this. Drops the ult on both, so if Dire want to turn around on this, then they do have the opportunity, but they just pick off the courier with the Yasha as it's coming in. Closing in, the RP. Do they have the damage to wrap up this Spectre? Fist is off cooldown. Can they land it? Not quite. They back out again. Centaur, being tough. He's got his Vanguard completed and his Tranquil Boots. 1,000 gold away from that Blink Dagger. Black Hole is off cooldown. Zeus trekking to the bottom lane, looking to get some farm to be able to play catch up. He has been set behind by this superior play from the Medusa on the mid lane. Who is now 139 last hits. Going up to 142, still farming strong and hanging out on that middle lane. I don't think that any of the Dire team, AA and Zeus, are here, and they can probably lay on some poke. However, I don't see them being able to bring this girl down unless a huge amount of damage can be dealt out very quickly. Stuff on the top lane. Oh, they're coming in for the Spectre. Spectre surrounded by 4. AA coming out, but the Spectre will fall, and they will get the Magnus in return. Not worth it, but a silver line into that cloud that is now the Dire top lane. Centaur is here as well. 400 gold off his blink. Oh, and the Zeus ult coming out. It's put everyone on low HP, but the Stampede is spent. With the Spectre down, they will not be able to pick off these heroes. If she can get up and pop a haunt, then she may be able to find them. Spectre able to come in with the haunt, and they do find Climber on his silencer. Cheeky tip, the tips begin. Pizza Boy dropping the tip. Only the tip. The Ancient Apparition.
Going to let that middle tower fall?
This Prophet still pushing towards the Orchid. Quite a greedy item, however, if he can drop it in these fights to be able to use his, to be able to avoid the Spectre, being able to avoid the Medusa, being able to use a Mana Shield and her other spells, they can definitely turn this around. But they're tracking the Medusa. She does have Manta Style for the dodge. Pops the Stone Gaze to dissuade them from chasing her any further. Pizza Boy got his eye on top lane, but he's been spotted out by the ward. And Kali will escape that particular gank with the Desolator almost done on the Tusk. This guy is going to be doing a lot of damage with his Walrus Punch when he can lay that out. This core Tusk build doing some work so far, and his CS is nothing to complain about either at this early stage of the game. Zeus. He is almost finished his ags, only 550 gold away. And which will definitely give the Dire side some much needed global presence against this Spectre, able to bring reinforcements and bring protections to anyone who gets ganked by the Spectre. Pantademic not ready to engage. Farmademic not ready to engage against this this silencer alone just yet. Still working on finishing off that ultimate orb. Has picked up the recipe. Maybe not confident that he can quickly get the items together in a short space of time. However, his so far he has died twice so far in this game, so he has lost a little bit of gold on that front, but not too much. I feel with the space that's being provided to him by his team, he can very quickly get online if he plays it safe and stacks are made. Centaur does have his blink completed. It's a big power surge and a good moment for the Dire to take the opportunity to make some pushes and get back into this game somehow. Zeus and AA moving in on the Tusk on the top lane. Coming in with the cold feet, however, the snowball will evade the damage. Zeus taking a lot of damage from the punch, but Centaur with the stomp. RP landing on the Centaur War Runner, charges him off down into the river, get him away from it, but the Zeus ult will bring down the Tusk in the end. Magnus and Silencer quickly coming down as well to the Spectre Horn coming out.
The seeds of fortune.
And that will be a very poor trade. As two others throw themselves in to try and save the Tusk, but to no avail, and Dire will start to look towards bringing down this top tower. Medusa, however, on the middle lane, finished the Manta style, now making her way towards Skadi. Has the first ultimate orb and a lot of agility to her name. The Enigma, with Guardian Greaves completed, if he can arrive in these fights, with his Blink Dagger as well, now things have gotten interesting. Samson coming in with the Veil of Discord, the smoke popping out on the Enigma. He's got his eye on the black hole, he has the blink ready. Here's the reveal. Can he land it? Drops two. Cold feet coming out on the Enigma is going to stun him, but he does get the black hole for a time. Do they have the damage to turn around? Spectre in the middle of this fight. Ale dropping down on our Y. Does catch the Enigma. Will it be enough to bring him down? Not quite. He does survive with the help of the max health increase from the Essence Ring. Prophet on the bottom lane has the Orchid completed. We'll see what he wants to go for next.
Did Radiant's bottom tower just fall?
The Prophet now doing some good work, pushing out these lanes, making space for his Spectre. Now starting to use his Aghanim's Nimbus to poke the enemy heroes. Still doing a fair chunk of damage to the Magnus, despite only the 2 ticks. Sets off with the Blade Mail completed. Not taking a lot of damage from the Mystic Snake, which, despite its early impact, is starting to drop off. The damage is only 200. Does a lot more on the squishier heroes on the Dire team. Zeus with the Ether Lens, now going straight for Boots of Travel. Wants to be able to arrive at any fight and contribute outside of just his global presence with the Aghanim's Nimbus. Spectre now making her way towards the Diffusal Blade, bypassing the Blade Mail. Instead, wanting to look for that mana burn. Likely looking at it to get rid of the mana off the Medusa's mana shield. Dire side now hovering around the tier 1 tower on middle. They lost theirs, now they want payback.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Dave is here, Climber is here, RY is here. He does not yet have the black hole, not for another 25 seconds, but a roll in for Pizza Boy, catching out the Zeus. Put the turnaround on him. Zeus all popping out, horn dropping as well. Dave manages to skewer away the disengage. Oh, but Dave just dropped into that final lightning bolt. The AA ult coming in as well. Manages to catch the silencer. And now Medusa with the stone gaze. Driving away the Dire team. Excuse me, frog in the throat. Tusk manages to get his walrus punch onto the Zeus, but isn't able to finish him off. Medusa is here with full HP, but not doing the right clicks. Nature's Prophet able to TP away. Zeus on very little HP at the back. But they do find the Centaur, even through the Blade Mail. Cold Feet will stop Medusa from pursuing this any further. But the Eidolons and the Creeps chasing after the Spectre, providing the vision. And this Medusa sitting a full 5 levels above the Spectre for the Dire team. And sitting 4 levels above anyone else in the game so far. So definitely looking at nice farm on this Medusa so far. Picks up the Arcane Rune, which will make that snake jump a very small cooldown indeed, only 7 seconds. A providing the ward coverage.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
5-minute runes come out. Nature's Prophet making the moves, just picking away the ones on bottom lane as Enigma. Now most of the way towards his BKB. We'll continue to secure that. Radiant smoked up. Almost walking into the AA, breaking the smoke on the Tusk. Just an Observer Ward is popped in front. Wanting to deny that Roshan away from the Radiant team. Possibly looking for it themselves to try and bolster up these Spectre in these fights. Pizza Boy going in hard against the enemy team. He's going to fall. Black Hole going out on the Spectre though. Can they complete it? They have the RP. The AA comes out, drops the Enigma, drops the Centaur. Spectre will walk away from this in one piece. Climber tries to go into the Roche pit to hide, but no avail. It's Woody now I've got his eyes on taking on the Roshan and doing decent damage. It looks like they will be able to take down this Roshan. A very difficult fight for Radiant to take, lacking the ward coverage, lacking the high ground advantage. Tusk throwing himself into the fray there early on. Gave the Dire side one less problem to worry about. This is becoming quite a slow Roshan. He is about to fall, but the silencer is out. But Roshan falls in time. Centaur looking a little bit low, regenning fairly well though. The build he's got, plus the Tranquils which are about to pop, all giving him the sustainability as they pop another smoke. Nimbus failing to scout Pardon me, the Nimbus is coming from the Zeus, which is Dire. Now the bottom lane, the Enigma, 60 seconds on his black hole. Once that comes back up, the silencer also another 30 seconds until they have global silence returned, and the RP on 30 seconds as well. So once that's up, I'm sure that Radiant will be looking to engage again with their timings up, with their blink daggers up, to try and turn the tide. Only a 3 gold lead advantage so far from the Dire. As the tables just begin to turn, this Spectre now sitting on the Aegis with his Mana Style, with his Diffusal, going out for that MKB, wanting the extra damage on the right click. Mindbreaker for the Radiant side will benefit them greatly, especially going up against this Zeus. Swipe of insight coming out of the Centaur War Runner. He's looking against the magic damage of that black hole as well as the silencer's arcane curse. His Prophet picks himself up a blade mail. Meanwhile, Zeus beginning to look towards his Yule's Scepter. The Medusa, meanwhile, building into a Satanic almost immediately after the Eye of Skadi. No thought for a BKB. All he wants for Christmas is a BKB. All she wants is the massive amount of lifesteal. Right, Bell with his BKB completed. He's picking up the quickening charm. Give him that lower cooldown on the black hole. That extra HP regen, hopefully give him just enough sustain to be able to see through the duration of his ultimate under the massive amount of damage coming out from the Centaur and the Spectre.
Is Dire going to let that middle tower fall?
And there we are, Satanic completed. The reveal of this for the next team fight could make or break this game. But either way, the winner of the next fight will probably be on the back foot for the remainder, and they will have a much harder time. Although, coming up, they do find the Spectre. They are poking her. Magnus is in, popping the RP, getting the Spectre, the Zeus. But the Medusa and Magnus will both fall. Enigma, no black hole down. Falls and he's down for 70 seconds without buyback. Dire team now starting to get into their stride after a bit of a bumpy start. This Medusa still far ahead in the net worth, a full 4,000 gold above the Spectre. Despite a fortify, it looks like with both of the main cores down for the Dire team, for the Radiant team, the Dire will be taking both towers in the mid lane. This will cost the Radiant team a lot of space going into the mid to late game, which is not where you want to be when you're squaring up against the Spectre. Ideally, in a game against the Spectre, many teams would want this game to be over already. But the push has just not been consistent enough coming out from the Radiant team to be able to get the space, take the space away from Dire that they need to stop this Spectre farming, getting bigger and bigger. Centaur's net worth also looking quite respectable for having such a tough lane alongside the Nature's Prophet, both of who've recovered admirably. Looking for the high ground, dropping the Nimbus, bringing down the Silencer about halfway. This 3,000 net worth Silencer, not many stats to his name, and only 4-inch stolen. He's looking to suffer. The Tusk going out again. Good Spectral daggered. Maintain the slow, but there won't be any further action. A couple of pokes coming out from the Zeus still. Nature's Prophet making the push on the bottom lane. He has his Desolator, building towards that BKB, and most of the way there, but the Enigma will be out. Dropping the Midnight Pulse and the Eidolons to be able to stop that bottom lane push. And Spectre moving back, able to pick up the Demon Edge. But looks like she's trying to hang on to her buyback for the moment. But changes her mind, picks up the Demon Edge. The final piece of the MKB coming in by Courier. That makes her a very damaging hero, especially with that extra pierce and that magic damage coming out. No ways to evade that so far, despite the Guardian Greaves from the Enigma. He's been suffering to be able to find the right positioning for his black holes. Possibly biding his time, waiting for the right one to come out, but has yet to be able to track it down. That last fight, the Medusa caught out position, wasn't able to get any support from her heavy team fight squad.
Illusion.
Tusk now building into an Assault Cuirass. Medusa looking for the Eagle's Song. The BKB or the MKB already out from the Spectre, so the effectiveness of this from the damage dealt by the Spectre might not give the Medusa much hope. don't believe that they've seen the MKB yet. So if they've the Spectre hiding that purchase very well. May not have been spotted, although there is a ward here. I wasn't sure if that was already out when the Spectre purchased the Demon Edge. If the Radiant team spotted that, then this purchase of the Eagle Song might not be the way to go. Zeus now with the Yule Scepter completed for that extra bit of lockdown. But the Yule Scepter also on the Ancient Apparition. A lot of Yules will be dropping out in this game, in these fights. Shutting down the Medusa's damage, who's not got a Lincoln's or any means of damage or magic resistance. The main people to look out for that will be fearful in these fights will most likely be the Enigma. A lot of the consistency of the team fight as Dire come in again. It's going to rely on the Enigma being in the right place at the right time. They don't get him, however, they do get the Zeus. Who will fall? Blade Mail coming out on the Centaur. Stone Gaze. Freezing up the Spectre, freezing up Centaur. There's this Medusa, starts to lay on the damage. Enigma is here. Is silenced, isn't able to get it off. And will pop his black hole just to secure that Nature's Prophet. Does survive with the help of the BKB, however, black hole is now down. Blinks across, lands the Malefice, manages to get the Ancient Apparition as well. Quick ult from Zeus will not secure the kills as a smoke is popped to protect them.
This will be just fine.
Medusa making the push on the mid lane. Malefice dropping out on the Centaur Warrunner, slowing him in his tracks. The Arcane Curse as well, stopping him from getting that Blink Dagger off to escape. But he will get away anyways. His pure tankiness and the items he's purchased now packing a Crimson Guard and the Talisman of Invasion as he makes his way towards a Heaven's Halberd to shut down, most likely to shut down this Medusa during these fights. The later on this game goes, the more and more this Medusa's build is crying out for a Black King bar. A Spectre now building her way towards this Eye of Skadi of her own. As both teams return to the jungle, accumulating more farm. Spectre still 3,000 gold ahead, but the Medusa still 3,000 gold ahead, but this Spectre is gaining, has been climbing up the ranks from the lowest 5, and is now making her way, having made about 5,000 gold since the Medusa made 3. At this rate, she will overtake her, and so far these fights have not been going all too well, aside from that last one for the Medusa, the Radiant side. Grouping up on the top lane. Radiant are electing to stay in the bottom jungle and accumulate more items as they pick up a Minotaur Horn and a Magic Lamp. The Medusa would benefit, and she has taken it, seeing the benefit of that magic resistance and that spell immunity. Very fortunate pick in the absence of a Black King bar.
Is Dire going to let that middle tower fall?
The lanes at the moment currently pushed out, except for top, which is slowly driving in towards the Radiant side, but will quickly be cleared by the Enigma. Both teams hanging out, biding their time. Pushing their lanes in, just trying to give themselves the best advantage possible on the push to protect their towers in preparation for the next fight. All quiet here at the moment. As that Skadi edges closer and closer, that will make that Spectre a very dangerous opponent and very difficult to bring down. Nature's Prophet now packing a Black King Bar and moving towards the Blood Dome will definitely give him a lot, but we've got a smoke coming in on the middle lane. 4-man smoke. Spectre in tow. Looking for a pick-off. Tusk is here alone in the jungle. Are they going to find him? The Treants are scouting. They've spotted him. They found him out. Pops into the snowball. Stomp comes out too slow. Stun goes down. Looking for the pick-off on the Zeus. Don't think he's going to find it. And he will not. Pizza Boy goes down. No deaths to his name. Zeus continues to clear his way through the jungle. Spell Prism on top of that is going to make his Nimbus fall down to just a 30-second cooldown, giving him 0 downtime. However, he's in the wrong place, right in front of the Medusa, as Enigma drops the black hole only onto the Zeus, who was up in the Yule Scepter already, and the Zeus will fall. The rest of them will back away. Oh, but Enigma going in for the Shiva's Guard. Dropping the Malefice. Oh, the RP on 2. The Hawk comes out in response. Centaur uses his ultimate to get away, but the Nature's Prophet ulti doing a lot of damage on the supports of the Radiant side. Will drive off the team. Stone Gaze is cost as well to stop them, to stop the Spectre from getting into the fight. Oh, and a cheeky pick off from the Nature's Prophet onto Climber, who was looking for the runes on the bottom side. Wasn't expecting a geared up Nature's Prophet, who is now going into a very damaging build with over 300 attack damage to his name. Centaur clearing out the mid lane. Has his halberd, looking for the boot to travel. It's up on the top. Scaddy is completed. Vampire Fang still sitting on the Radiant side. At the moment, there is Timeless Relic and Prince's Knife available to the Radiant side. Prince's Knife could be especially good on the Nature's Prophet, currently sporting an enchanted quiver. Still a decent item. Tusk now hitting level 20 with that 80% Walrus Punch crit. They have what it takes now to be able to wipe out that Zeus before the fight is able to begin. I did not see Zeus die. Zeus was dead? That one I overlooked that one. I did not spot that death go down. Now Medusa picking up a Daedalus is going to really rack up her attack damage if she comes into this fight. And finally going for the BKB as well. Oh, but Climber will get picked off it by the Nimbus just outside the Roche pit. Spectre getting the assist. Ancient Apparition revealing himself, dewarding on the Radiant side. As the Horn comes out, Spectre coming in alongside the Centaur. They will find the Tusk. Global Silence unable to save him. Down on the bottom lane, Zeus is split pushing again. Has 3 range creeps on his side, but those will quickly fall. Blink Dagger will be up in 4. If Zeus doesn't retreat, then he could be in for a quick pickoff. But he will fall back.
A scan from Radiant.
Dire side now heading out to the Roche pit. With Tusk down, does put the Radiant side at a disadvantage to be able to contest this fight. Though with the smoke up, they aren't going to go for it. Not revealed yet. They go in. RP on 3 in the Roche pit. Roche is very low. Black hole as well. On top of the Nimbus, laying out some damage. Ancient Apparition snatching the Aegis. Radiant taking the kill, but Radiant with the Medusa at full HP will be bringing everybody down. And a 3-man wipe and a buyback from the Nature's Prophet to hopefully maintain this line. Zeus coming in, gets the pick off on the silencer. Will it be worth it, however? As this Medusa with full HP and a beak and a Minotaur horn to boot will be coming in. Nature's Prophet, terrible mistake. May just get away, and he does. Coming in to try and rescue his Zeus, but to no avail. 4 dead on the side of Dire as the Medusa's damage spike with the Daedalus in tow coming out in that fight. No one able to focus her down underneath all of the lockdown from the RP and the Black Hole and the Global Silence as well. Radiant turning a very surprising Roshan fight. Ancient Apparitions still being able to snatch the Aegis, but loses it. Medusa will push her way up this lane, looking for the high ground. Looking to force those buybacks. Spectre's down for 40 seconds. Zeus is down for 50, although he does have buyback available. 45 will sustain the tower for the moment. Prophet picking up the Prince's knife. Something to watch out for now. Spectre picking up an Abyssal Blade, already has the Basher. Could be the lockdown that they need onto this BKB wielding Medusa. They already have the counter to her evasion, now they need the counters to the Black King bar. Moving out the smoke, he will find Zeus. Drops the Malefice, and Zeus will retreat, taking the room with his bottle. Down the bottom lane, Magnus taking a Spectral Dagger to the backside as Spectre clearing out some farm. They will find the Magnus with the Nimbus. Nature's Prophet is here as well, throwing the Prince's knife so he can't escape, and Dave will fall. Does have his buyback, but he is down for 70 seconds. Integral part of the team fight, and his RP is up at the moment. He may need to prefer. Dire do push this advantage now, then that he may have to buy back. But the Tusk completed his Assault Cuirass, wielding the Havoc Hammer. Will give him a nice bit of protection and some extra survivability. When he rolls into the enemy team in these snowballs that he has been doing. Some have worked out, some haven't, though they do have a lot of lockdown on the Dire side and can lay out a lot of damage in a small space of time, and that damage is only going to get higher. The Medusa now breaking away. Her advantage over the Spectre now increasing to 9,000 after that last fight. Radiant are not done yet, despite the 9,000 advantage in the favour of the Dire. Pardon me, responding to correspondence. There we go. Apologies. Quick sheepstick coming out on the ancient apparition will give that lockdown that is so desperately needed to be able to turn off this this Medusa's damage output in these fights. This Magnus in the market for a BKB. Already a good way done. Silencer now sitting on an Eon disc on top of his Veil of Discord, giving that extra survivability with the Van Brace that will give him the spell amp as well. Medusa illusions chase the ancient apparition up the lane to no avail. Both teams hanging out. They have the smoke. They're ready to go. They pop it. Though the Enigma with that right click may have just revealed that the smoke is active. May encourage Radiant to fall back. Retreating. The Haunt is out. Spectre on the back line. Caught in the black hole. Zeus up falling down. RP on top of the Spectre. Medusa doing the damage. No one able to focus her just yet, but she does get caught by the Prince's Knife and the Sheep Stick as well. Rollerball coming down. Not able to catch her out. Nature's Prophet will be able to escape, and that is a 2 for 2. The Tusk without buyback, but everyone else with. The Spectre, the big loss on the side of the Dire. With that money, Magnus looking that much closer to that Black King Bar, which will keep him protected from the Zeus going forward. And stop him being able to be caught out by these Nimbuses when he's about to initiate. Zeus also with a Scythe of Vice. That's 3 on the side of the Dire. A lot of lockdown available alongside the Centaur's stun to keep this Medusa in check. Not able to execute it in that last fight, and only able to break even. Roche not too far away. Prophet ult continue. Pushing in the lanes. Push is currently in the favour of the Dire, as is to be expected with a Nature's Prophet on your side. Medusa continuing to farm. 6,500 gold in the pocket. Time will tell what the next big purchase is going to be. Definitely holding on to that buyback, however. Picking up the Ghost Scepter, protects himself from the Spectre's attack on the backline. She hasn't picked up a Radiance this game, so this Scepter will give him that few extra seconds of grace he needs to be able to pop off his spells. Black King Bar completed on the Magnus, also sporting a Flicker. Enigma using his Shiva's Guard to push up the lane. Also has his own ninja gear. His own little personal smoke to be able to position himself properly in these fights. While on the top lane, BKB has popped on the Magnus. He's pushing forward. He has Nature's Prophet on his back. Uses the Flicker, not successfully. Missing the Sprout. BKB doing his work, but the Magnus will fall to the Spectre in the end. That 150 attack damage being enhanced by the Basher, by the Eye of Skadi, by the Monkey King Bar. Very big pickoff. Roshan just around the corner. Dire circling around the pit, looking for this pickoff on the Roshan. Get themselves an Aegis, get themselves a cheese, and a Refresher Shard. I believe this is the 3rd kill of Roche. Down the bottom lane, Centaur Warrunner completed possibly the first of many hearts, possibly the only one. Roshan is up and has his Refresher, has his cheese, has his Aegis as well. Timeless Relic coming out on the Ancient Apparition. That extra spell damage on his Ice Blast. Piercing through spell immunity and reducing all regen could give the edge that the Dire need to break this resilient Radiant side. Still fighting from behind with a 9k advantage. However, the Medusa continuing to steam ahead with the net worth. I don't really know what other items she could purchase. She has a Satanic. She has a Daedalus. Butterfly, Skadi, Manta, BKB, like, Power Tread's now in the pocket. What else could she need? Silencer dropping the last word on the Spectre, driving her away. Doesn't want to be engaged on first. Not yet. Dire side is scattered all over the map. Would not be beneficial to her to take a fight at this time. Sporting the magic lamp. Give her that little bit of extra sustain. And the hard dispel. Another hero who may benefit well from having a Black King bar in these fights. A lot of lockdown. The RP also pierces spell immunity. Perhaps not. Perhaps a Black King bar. Perhaps it was the prudent decision from the Spectre in that case to keep her money saved, going for the Moon Shard instead. Enigma scouting around with the ninja gear. Doesn't spot anyone. Both teams traveling blind at the moment. They do engage the Shivas and a Midnight Pulse onto the Ancient Apparition. Recognizing that the Radiant are sitting tidy in that top jungle, the Dire elect to go down onto the bottom lane. Scouting out the Roshan.
Dire with the scan.
Dire lay a scan down as well. Don't spot out the Radiant team at this time, who are electing just to keep a courier in the jungle, in the Roche pit, to spot when Dire will be making their move. Both teams just coaxing, trying to look a little disinterested in the Roche pit here. Those sentries will be dropped from both teams. But the Observer able to spot out the placement of the ward and the Silencer, making his move and destroying their sentry as well. Medusa now nearly 7,000 gold in pocket. 4,500 gold buyback. That's how far this Medusa is going. Now sitting 14,000 gold ahead of this Spectre, who is running out of time to be able to make the impact that she wants to make in these fights. For the last two, losing another Roshan could be very costly unless the Dire team can turn this around. Quick blink from the Centaur. Won't be able to pick out Peter Boy this time. Snowball comes in, Enigma coming in as well. They do find the Zeus and they will pick him off. AA coming down. Will they be able to avoid it? They will. He does have buyback. Down for 100 seconds, however. But possibly an opening for the Radiant to be able to contest this Roshan.
Jax thinks Radiant's bottom tower is
Down on the bottom lane once again. Creeps making the pressure on this bottom tower. Forcing Tusk with his auto attack Walrus Punch. Clearing the creep wave as Nimbus falls down on the Roche pit. Magnus in a spot of trouble now. As the Haunt comes out, popping his BKB to pull himself away. Still on low HP with the RP off cooldown. Roshan will return to his lair. Spectre making her way into the pit. Perhaps not. Still wary of the damage output of this Medusa.
Invisibility.
Spectre will solo the Roshan as the rest of the Dire team spread out to be able to give her the space required to be able to finish this Roche off. She is almost done. As the Nimbus comes down, they see she's on low HP. Woody in the background, getting picked off. But Spectre will grab the Aegis, grab the cheese and the refresher and make her way out of the pit. Passing the refresher over onto Zeus. Which will be double Nimbus and double Thunder God's Wrath.
Jax thinks Radiant's
Much
bottom
required hike for the gold advantage. Now up to 11,000 gold for the Dire team. However, this is yet to translate into a successful fight. They've been able to get the pickoffs here and there. The main sacrifices in this game so far being the Magnus and the Silencer, although the Tusk has sacrificed several kills himself, despite being the tankiest man on the team. RY popping his ninja gear. Scouting out the top jungle again. He won't find anyone there. Close to the Dire team now currently sitting in the bottom lane, looking to push this in and make a go at the high ground. If they think they can break them here, but only 2 bottom. They don't want to make this. They don't want to make this any harder than it has to be. Piss break soon from the Spectre. Catch out the Stencil War Runner, laying on the damage. He'll drop the Stampede to try and to get himself away, and it looks like he will. Oh, will he? RY here with the Malefice, drops the Midnight Pulse, and the Shiva's Guard will bring down the Centaur War Runner. This game standing on the edge of a knife as tier 5 items are revealed. We have a Seer Stone and a Fallen Sky coming out for Radiant and Dire respectively. Seer Stone, of course, giving greatly increased cast range and vision, as well as a great amount of mana. The Force Boots going onto the Tusk. Oh, both on the side of the. There's all 4. We have a Trident coming out, a very good item for the Medusa to pick up to give her all-round stats. Also getting an Apex. As the Dire team, their tier 5 items as follows. Also getting a Trident, Fallen Sky, which will definitely help them with their push. As well as a Book of the Dead, 2 very crucial items to be able to try and close down this final quarter of this game. Enigma. Eyeing up the Zeus, but not able to land themselves on him. Currently sitting at 440 movement speed. He's a pretty speedy old man, is old Zeus, in this game. Doubt he's going to get any slower. They will need some real jump to be able to catch him out like that. The chases may not go in their favour. Everything now up for the Radiant team. They can make the play if they wish to. They have double damage on Medusa. They have everything they need to be able to turn a fight in their favour. All they need now is the momentum and the moment. Still a ways away before Roshan is back up. The Spectre still has the Aegis. Both teams, all ultimates up, are looking for a fight. But they elect to continue to farm the jungle instead. There's a part of me now that is sort of desperate to see this big brawl come out from both sides. The next fight that we will see between all 5 team members on both sides will be the kind of fight that we enjoy to spectate here in Dota 2. Trident completed on the Medusa. She's geared up and ready to go. A lot of stats and extra buffs coming out for this Medusa. 30% lifesteal, 30% mana regen, spell amp, lifesteal amp, all available to her. And yet, both teams seem to be dancing around a fight, possibly sitting out and waiting for the next Roshan. However, Spectre's still sitting on that Aegis, which has just expired. Not able to act on that window to be able to bring a fight together. Refresher orb now completed on the Enigma, as the gold lead continues to stretch in Dire's favour. Now the Medusa and the Spectre both at level 30. Zeus right behind, and Enigma and Centaur and the Nature's Prophet not far behind them either.
New treasures. Small reward.
Book of the Dead on the Nature's Prophet, seeking to expand his ability to push this game and drive these creeps forward towards the Radiant base. All of Radiant now wrapping up together on the bottom lane. Enigma not with them at the moment.
Look at Dire's bottom tower, Jax.
Radiant coach advising to push up through the jungle and bring a fight to the Dire side.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Enigma, without much vision of the enemy team, continuing to farm through this top jungle. Okay, at this point I'm asking myself, when is this next fight happening? Because at the moment, I don't come here, I don't play Dota to see Farmville. We want to see a fight. I want to see a fight, the spectators want to see a fight. Personally, I think both teams want to see a fight, but neither of them is sure of the advantage that they can take. That last fight, although it went in the favor of the Radiant side, and they were able to snatch away the Roshan without any casualties, it doesn't seem like they believe they have the confidence to be able to rumble with this Medusa. Despite that, their gold advantage continues to grow. The Nature's Prophet now overtaken the Spectre in farm. Also has the Aghanim's Blessing, so extra creeps, extra treants on every lane. Each time he casts his ultimate, will continue to put more and more pressure on this Radiant land. Bottom lane getting cleared by a heavy push of creeps. However, Enigma is here, taking damage from the Necros. Radiant will drive it back once again. Silencer now with the Aghanim Scepter ready, will be able to last word on an AoE. With not many BKBs, only one on the Prophet coming out. This could be a game-changing Aghanim Scepter. As they land a last word in the pit, trying to scout out some vision on Roshan. They said so. Coming up around the back line. Decides to get away with his ultimate instead. Both teams floating around the roast pit. Quick reduction in the net worth lead coming out from the Radiant, accumulating a quick 5,000 gold to drag the lead of the Dire back towards the center, down to 10,000. At this point, only the Silencer, 60 gold short of buyback. But they find the AA. Land ability's on him, but just clear the ward. Down on bottom, Tusk has found himself a Zeus. Zeus is being picked off. It looks like he will go down, getting knocked skyward by a Walrus punch as Nature's Prophet makes his escape. Haunt does go down as well. The Ancient Apparition ult missing completely.
Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen.
Both teams return to coaxing around the pit. Whilst this Zeus is down, although he has buyback, Radiant may be reluctant to take a fight against this Medusa. Zeus wants to wait out his death timer. Also asking for 3 minutes to pee too. A vote of 2 from the Dire side.
The seeds of fortune.
Mum, bring the bottle. You'll need more than a bottle. As Roshan is brought down, this time with an Aghanim Blessing, which Magnus will carry as Radiant move up into the Dire jungle. Got last word and Arcane Curse down on the Spectre. Backs away, reluctant to take this any further. Another fortify coming out from the Dire. Ancient Apparitional will drop on all 3 of the main cores of the Radiant. But undeterred, they will push themselves further into the Dire base, pushing the Spectre away with that damage output. Still very frightened of the Spectre, of the Medusa. Spectre going in again, taking some flak. There's Medusa going on to the tier 4s, wanting eagerly to end this game. Possibly through the reluctance of his own blood. Ancient Apparition will fall on the outskirts as the Haunt comes out. Spectre in on the back line as the black hole coming out from RY. Will fall on 2, but won't kill anybody yet. Instead laying into the Enigma, bringing him down. Silencer falls. Medusa alone in the base without mana will fall the first time. Can they do it a second? Nimbus will drop. Pistol Blade will drop. And the Medusa is down. 100-second timer, has her buyback, and an extra 10,000 gold to boot. But the gold shift switches heavily into the favor of the Dire now. 20,000 gold lead at the 72-minute mark.
From the core of the universe, a treasure.
Making their way upfield. Enigma hiding under his ninja gear. Will spot out the Centaur Warrunner. Will attempt to engage. Drops his Midnight Pulse. Has the black hole back up. But Medusa is here. Centaur is coming down. And will finally fall. That heart will not save you now. Ancient Apparition being lifted up. He has bought back. Will fall again. Dead for 120 seconds. The Enigma almost spitting his... almost blowing his black hole early there. The Magnus diving in. Looking for the Spectre as Centaur Warrunner buys back. But will instead retreat into the shadows. Now equipped with a Shadow Blade. Snowball comes in. Accident protects the Zeus from the snowball won't be enough to save him from the fist of the Tusk, who brings him down even after he pops his ult. Not enough damage, but it is enough damage for Enigma and Magnus, bringing him down. Now Tusk protects himself with the snowball for a few seconds, but it won't be enough, falling shortly after to a quick ping of the right click from the Nature's Prophet. Climber was able to get himself out of there, as was the Medusa, the big target, but there is 3 heroes down on the Radiant without buyback.
Radiant want their middle tower
This
to
could be the opening that Dire have been waiting for to bring this game home and finish this marathon. If they can find the Spectre, find the Medusa on the Radiant side, then they can wrap this game up quickly. She is still a nasty piece of work, equipped with that Trident, with the Black King bar up and Stone Gaze. She can still lay out enough damage to turn this game around. But the Abyssal Bait drops, stuns her out. Centaur lines his stun up as well. She drops the Satanic, laying on the damage, able to heal through it for now, but she's falling further. Medusa is going down, and she has fallen dead with no buyback, 120 seconds, and that will be good game. Well played, called out by the Medusa. With the closest timer at 50 seconds, there is no time left, as Spectre runs straight into the tier 4s, wrapping up the game. There is not a chance left for the Radiant team, and the Dire will claim this one after a 75-minute jaunt through the jungle, a long farmathon, and a very rapid finish after an unsuccessful high ground assault. Man of the match there, Centaur Warrunner, pulling through with a lot of front lining, sustaining a lot of damage for his team. 109,000, managing to mitigate 52% of that. Will bring this game to a conclusion, and very well played to both teams. After an hour and 15 minutes, it was definitely a good test of my first vocal cords, so thank you very much to Reddit4thom for sending this in, and I wish you guys very well. I hope you stay safe during this whole lockdown period, and a very Merry Christmas and New Year to you. Thank you, and farewell for now.